All right, so what do you like to do in your free time when you're not doing music and all of that?
I guess freedom consists pretty much spend a lot of my friends. We do a lot of graffiti and running amok and driving around. I like going to the local wrestling up in the northern suburbs. I'm actually going to one tonight. Big Hawkeye's winning the belt. So I guess it's a little bit weird thinking about like going and watching naked or half naked, sweaty dudes hold each other. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of cool. Me and Fibs get a bit of a buzz out of it, and we sort of like go out and haggle and give people shit. So and I mean, we ride a lot. We go BMXing and we just ride around and run amok. And Fibs tends to drink a lot of 40's. Yeah, just getting so well because I don't drink, but he sort of we just go out and get paro in some extent and just sort of the usual typical things young people do, like egging houses, toilet rolling things, riding through the city, getting pulled over by cops, just young stuff, yeah, typical young sort of stuff, and maybe now and then going out for dinner with fine bitches, or and drinking at the Torrens River. We love drinking at the Torrens, so you catch us down there, drinking up with the scene kids and talking a bunch of shit. So yeah.
All right, so two questions here. I'm going to put this, I guess, ask two different questions, but the first question is you just released a clip of a new song. I just wanted to ask, when will the full one be released of your new clip on YouTube?
Yeah, this is, I guess, a question which is a little bit unsure. I'm currently working on a group with some of my closest friends, and I'm not sure yet. It is a group song, but I'm not too sure yet they're going to use it for the group. So depending on that is really depending on if it ever gets released at all or the date. And I'll probably know that a little bit more in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But if not used in the group, I may not release it publicly ever, which would suck because it's a pretty cool track.
You release it to me privately. I'll get someone. And my second question to this two part is at the end of that video, can you tell us the story of someone feeling your friend up?
Well, that's quite a hectic sort of question. All right. Roughly, I had this hater once. He's still sort of down, but I won't give him the decent to be named because it'll just make him more famous. But he's a total fucking gug, man. He's sort of like a straight edge like me. He talks a bit of shit, and he's just a fucking stain on life. And he was giving me a bit of shit on my when he tried to bring out some weird shit about like, well, guys hop in your bed and fill you up. Like, fucking, what do you got to say about that? And I just sort of ignored it, and we were all just laughing about it as a group, like, and we just kept saying it to each other, like, oh, hey, man, remember that time, like, someone jumped in your bed and, like, felt you up? Like, because it's just so fucking ridiculous to sort of bring up to diss someone. And we were just saying it to everybody, and I just happened to have my camera at the time, and my mate, old butthole there, he walked around the back of Phibbs's house, and he just sort of walked into it, and I just fucking got the camera on him and was like, oh, tell us about that time. And he was just on the spot, and he was like, oh, well, I didn't fuck. Like, so I'm like, oh, tell us how you got in your bed and bashed him, because I thought, like, that's probably a little bit better than just saying it, because he had no idea what was going on. And then he just perfectly answered like, oh, I didn't bash him, as if to say, like, he just rooted him. So yeah, it was pretty comedic. Sort of worked cool. I just sort of throw it on the end as a bit of a comedic outro to this take I did.
So the imaginary guy never got bashed, even if he was filling him up.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was just he was basically saying if the dude jumped in his bed and filled him up, he wouldn't have bashed him. He would have made sweet, sweet love.
Just the way you said "sweet, sweet love," you kind of sounded like an answer. He would have made sweet, sweet love.
Yeah, well, that was another point.
Okay, one of your another Facebook question said, "What influenced you to become a rapper?"
Oh, big ones, big ones. how I get into rap, I don't really like rap even till today, and that's sort of semi well known. A lot of people send me these tracks or rhymes or oh check out this guy, he's sick, and I'll give it a listen if it's banned because I feel like don't be rude, but it's not really something I get into. And if someone's going to send me something of like a killer band or some like deathcore or something, I might actually suss it out, something I enjoy. But I never really liked rap, and I used to hang out with a bloke in town, and he was sort of getting into Jedi mind tricks and those sorts of dudes, and he played it a lot, and I guess there was a few things in certain parts of songs which really clicked to me. And then, like, funnily enough, I guess we just sort of elaborated on that, and we were always sort of sceney type kids, so yeah, I guess like I thought, wow, like, I always tried to be in bands, always tried to make bands work, and it never worked. Thought, fuck, like what if I just tried to rap? Like it'll be so stupid, it'll never work, it'll sound so crap. I'll just do it. I'll just fuck around. I'll buy a fucking cheap microphone. I'll make some rhymes and buy a few beats or use a few beats free offline, and make some songs. And it sort of took off, and people liked it more and more, and it sort of became more of a proper thing. And I've got a weird appreciation for rap. But I'd never up on it. It's not something I really thrive on. Like without rap, without hip hop, my life would end. Like that's not really the case at all. Like without hip hop, I'd probably have a really good career and girlfriend, and I'd probably be really successful as a normal person, but I'd be boring as shit. So yeah, I mean, so really what influenced me to start rapping was just to be something more than a normal person. I don't think any group or any individual really made me be like, wow, I want to be like this person. But I always wanted to do something artistic, something musical. I always wanted to make a band, but it was just way too hectic. So the rap sort of come up, and it just fit well, and we've done pretty good with it. So yeah, it was a bit of a fluke. It was like something you tried to do and you were really cool at, and you never expected it. So yeah.
All right, well, I actually have like a couple people ask this, so I'm gonna save a certain question for the last question. So I'm gonna skip this question,
Okay.
move on to the next question. What is
Nice.
your favorite song that you have ever made?
Favorite song I've ever made is split in two groups. I guess my favorite song I ever made originally was a song which is pretty rare to get called Ninjas Need Hugs. And that was all about how much I love Coke, which I mentioned before. And that was a real fuck around song. It was one of the only songs I made as a complete joke that people sort of never really listened to because it was just for fun. Everything else I sort of made, I started to try and make for a particular type of group or a particular type of person. And it wasn't really as... So that was always my funnest and sort of favorite song that I had. But now I guess it would have to be X to me. It just sounds so much better than my other stuff. It's catchy. It's pretty typical because I've just made it, but I like it as well as the little demo thing I bought out, Death Star. That's a good song as well in full. So I guess it'd be a mix up between two. The famous Gug I wasn't entirely happy with myself, but everyone else sort of seems to like it, so that's pretty good as well. I just think with me it's not so much what the song's about, it's so how it sounds, how the public respond to it, and when I listen to it, if it's catchy, if it doesn't get old, if I can listen to it and be like, wow, like that still sounds good after 100 times, it's pretty good. And X to me sort of never gets old, and if I start singing the Optimus rhyme bit, I gotta listen to it, and for me to have to do that to one of my own songs, I guess it must be pretty good.